This building looks like an alter ego of the Hall of Tyranny in my hometown of Lebanon, Indiana. Howdy, my name is Will Buchanan, and I'm walking all the way across the country to New Hampshire in search of more freedom on a project called the Walk for Liberty. Today is October 4th, 2008, day 153. I understand there will be a parade today here celebrating fall. As you can see, there's frost on the ground here. About a week and a half ago, in the Day 143 video, I talked about how pretty much all US towns are socialist or collectivist, seeing as that they collect a pot of money which they've stolen or at least extorted from people through property taxes, and then use it to provide services which people didn't ask to be provided by the government, such as roads, police, schools, parks, etc. In thinking about that further though, it seems that most of the money at least goes to pay for services which the average person uses anyway and would probably purchase themselves under the free market. The same can't be said about the federal government though. The federal government takes more of your money than local governments do through a combination of income taxes, corporate taxes, which, yes, get passed down to the end consumer, and inflation, just to name a few. And what do you get for it in return? Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, interest on the debt, defense, and various other things. First of all, Social Security. No thanks. I don't really want the government managing my retirement savings. Likewise on Medicare and Medicaid, I can take care of my health insurance on my own, thank you very much. And as far as the interest on the federal debt, I feel sorry for anybody who loaned money to the federal government, but it's not my debt, and I have no interest in paying it off. As far as the other miscellaneous things, that just seems to me like a bunch of pork and wasteful spending. Most of the quote-unquote useful things, such as parks or roads, are usually paid for by fees or targeted taxes anyway. That entire segment of the budget to me seems like welfare and make work for middle-class bureaucrats. In fact, the same could really be said about the whole federal budget. And then the last major category, defense spending. Much of that goes to protect other countries, or as corporate welfare, to protect American companies' assets overseas. Do you really want to be paying for that? And as far as the rest of it, a much smaller military back on American soil would easily suffice to protect against the very remote chance of invasion. I wonder if the National Guards of the various states would be able to serve that purpose. Which, not so coincidentally, leads me to my answer to the problem of the federal government. Let's get rid of it. There are already 50 state governments. What value does it add to have an extra layer of bureaucracy on top of that? The 50 state governments would continue working just fine without the federal government. If you're interested, there are secession, or as I prefer to call them, independence movements in many of the states. And if there's not one in your state, well, I know there's one in New Hampshire. I walked almost 22 miles today. And here are my GPS coordinates. This is Will Buchanan for Amazon.walkforliberty.com, signing off.